Hey folks, Brad LeDrew here at Western GM in Drumheller, Alberta, Canada. Today we're looking at our very first 2021, you can see it, Chevrolet Spark. Now, if you're not familiar with the Spark, it's sold in over 35 countries across the world. It's a world car for General Motors. It's in its fourth generation, and it's a very popular car for the General. In the car business, there's a very important thing called conquest. So that means you take them out of a Ford and you put them in a Chev, or you take them out of a Chev and you put them in a Ford. And it's really important to car companies so that they earn new customers or they gain new customers. And one of the things that is a very cool statistic about this car is that over 60% of the owners of this car has never owned a General Motors vehicle before. And a lot of things, there's a lot of reasons for it. So I'm going to talk, I don't want to go too long today, keep this under 10 minutes. But some of the main reasons for that is that GM has made a very good, affordable car, not a cheap car. Okay, so first off, let's just pop the hood. I'm doing this one-handed, like always. So you want to pop the hood, you put your hand here, you slide to the right, lift up. You've got your hood prop right here. And you can see, hooks in there. So pretty straightforward. You've got a 1.4 liter Ecotec 4-cylinder engine, okay? It's a full aluminum engine with the integrated head gasket as well, exhaust manifold as well. And you've got your air filter box here, 0W20 full synthetic oil in this baby, dipstick, radiator overflow, your brake fluid, your battery, and your windshield washer fluid. Everything's very easy to access, okay? You've got 98 horsepower, so almost 100 horsepower, and you've got 94 foot-pounds of torque in this vehicle as well. So which is plenty of get up and go for a car this small and light. Let's put that hood prop back up. Let's drop her back down. So if you're not familiar with the Spark, it's available in Canada here in 3 trim levels, the LS, the 1LT, and the 2LT. Now, if you live in America, instead of having a 2LT, they have an Active, and the Active model has a different wheel, actually has a 2-inch suspension lift, and it has roof rack rails, presumably for your surfboard in California or your skis in Colorado. So pretty straightforward. And when it comes to trim levels here in Canada and price, it's one of the few cars that GM makes that you can still get in a manual transmission. So this car in Canada is right around $10,000 in a 1LS, or I should say just LS, in a manual transmission, okay? Then if you go up into a 1LT in a manual transmission, you're looking at about $15,000, add $1,000 if you want it to be the Cvt transmission. And then when you go to the 2LT, the top end model, you're looking at about a $19,000 car here in Canada. So very, very affordable car. And again, if you think about it, there's a lot of people that, you know, they're looking at a pre-owned car that's a couple years old with say 60, 70, 80,000 kilometers, and they're looking at a $15,000, $16,000 price point. And this is what they're buying from General Motors instead. Why buy that used Civic or Corolla when you can get a more fun to drive car in this Chevrolet Spark for around town? And a great looking car at that. It's not a, like I said, they didn't cheap out on the styling or anything like that. And if you watch my 2020 video, I go into a little bit more detail about how in its third generation, the GM got the Corvette engineering team to take a quick look at it and to do a couple updates. So for example, you got 4-channel ABS brakes. The front brakes are vented. Your rear brakes are drum. Again, all about maintenance and inexpensive. Your headlights and your tail lights in this thing, they're all your cheap halogen bulbs. So again, very inexpensive to replace these bulbs. Another big thing here, this is important for a lot of people. A lot of these cars nowadays, and even there's vans, minivans, they don't have a spare tire anymore. So GM even gave you a spare tire with this vehicle. So a lot of people really like that as well. You've got this little privacy storage here. So again, groceries, you know, a small puppy or dog kennel, that sort of thing back here. You know, you're going, you know, to and fro the job site in town. You've got lots of room back here for backpack, that sort of thing. You can see Little overview in 4-passenger seating. And you know what? I'm a big guy, 6 foot 260. So real quick, I've got that front seat set up perfectly for me in the front. But even with that, you can see I've got about 3 fingers of knee room, and my feet go right up and under the seat very comfortably. Okay. Quick overview here. And again, cup holder armrest or cup holder right here. Another funny statistics for you. Here in North America, this is crazy. At any given time, there's 1.4 people in a vehicle at any given time. So the vast majority of time, there's no one ever in the back seats of your vehicle. There's usually just yourself driving. So we always seem to focus on the front of the vehicle, and that obviously makes sense. So even though this is an inexpensive car, you've got nice soft touch materials here. I like the texturing on this plastic. And you've even got this nice piano black finish here on the door. When you look at your trim levels, I mentioned before. So when you go from an LS to an LT, you still get the backup camera, you still get the 7-inch display, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto on an LS. When you upgrade to the LT, you're going to get your alloy wheels, your power door locks, and your power windows, okay? And finally, your steering mounted audio and cruise control. When you go from the 1LT to the 2LT, you get the leatherette interior that's heated seats as well. So that's the major differences between the 3 trim levels here in Canada. Now I'm just going to sit down real quick. So again, talking about textures, and I'm going to try to get this to focus, but even on the dash of this vehicle, you've got this nice texturized pattern here. Okay, you can see the chrome. Then you've got this, again, metal look right here with this piano black. So it looks really, really nice. It's not cheap looking inside. Okay, you can see our air conditioning, fan speed, all that sort of stuff. And then your 7-inch display with, like I said, the backup camera is standard on all trim levels. And so is Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So really quick here, you got the home button here, okay? And you also have, I'll zoom out a bit, home button right here. So you can see how quick and intuitive the GM system is. But if you have a modern, say, iPhone or Android phone, when you plug this in, this screen will become your Android or iPhone. So it'll have your approved apps, of course, like your Waze maps, your Google waypoints for your Google Maps, your contacts, your audiobooks, all that sort of stuff right in here, so that you've got, and turn on the volume, so that you've got that familiarity you're already used to. So really, really awesome. Again, that's standard on all trim levels. Now, another thing with all the GM cars, especially the Sparks, is that you've got the 4G LTE Wi-Fi in the vehicle with Wi-Fi hotspot, outside temperature sensor. You've got your time right here as well. And then you've got your Onstar as well. So nowadays, Onstar is 3 different things. Of course, it's the 4G LTE Wi-Fi. It's the emergency SOS function here. So again, when you push this button, you're actually on the phone with a trained EMT that can help you in many different ways get through a really bad situation. And then finally, you can have an app on your phone that starts your car if it has a remote starter, unlock your doors, set off your alarm, all that sort of stuff, check your tire pressure, your fuel levels, all that sort of thing. So really, really neat. OnStar, again, standard on all the trim levels as well. And moving on down, we talk about transmissions. So again, in Canada, the LS at a $10,000 price point with a 5-speed manual, you can also get, for $1,000 more, a CVT. Now, I'm just going to step out here. When we talk about, just to give you a better overview here, when you talk about the CVT transmission, what's really important to know is that a lot of our competitors in this category are running a single-stage CVT or a single pulley, and we use a 2-pulley system. And one of the things that does for you gives you better performance around town. So again, that your engine is 98 horsepower at 94 foot-pounds of torque. Great performance for a small little car like this. And in Canada, this is a 40 mile per gallon car, which is 7.0 liters overall combined fuel economy, which is absolutely fantastic. And as the fuel economy is even a smidgen better in the manual transmission. So again, if you like all the options in this LT, when you move up to the CVT, you're only spending $1,000 more than the manual transmission. And the last thing I want to talk about outside real quick here is these white accenting. So if you notice, okay, so all around the grille, lower fog light, mirror caps, and again on the roof. And the LT, you can get an optional sunroof, and this has the optional sunroof. But this is called a sport package. So in Canada, we have a sport edition, and depending on the color of exterior, you can choose this to be black or for it to be white. And it's only about $780. So it's a really nice way to deck out your car. But again, nice looking car, world car for General Motors. And you know what? I'm just gonna do this real quick. I'm just gonna go for a quick drive. A lot of people are still scared about CVT transmissions, and it's the whining and how loud they are in your cabin when you accelerate. But listen to this. Now, of course, we got some icy roads here, and that seatbelt ding, so let's do this again. So you can see and hear the car is not loud at all. And that's one of the surprising things. I really encourage you to get on down to your local Chevy store. If you're in this classic car, you're looking at a Yaris, you're looking at a Kia or a Hyundai, you should take this thing for a drive, and you'll find out real quick that it's quiet and it's comfortable. And again, the key highlight here is that it's a fun, affordable car, not a cheap car. There you go, folks. It's another One Take Shoot here from Brad at Western GM in Drumheller, Alberta. Cheers.